Hello and welcome to another episode, in fact, episode 5 of Talk of the Crown. And I hope you've all had an absolutely amazing, voluptuous royal week. I know I have. So let me go straight to the chat room because I always open the chat room so that I can speak to you guys. And that's one of the most important things about these live chats is speaking to everyone. So let's see who is in the chat room. Let me just go up. Okay, there's been lots of conversation before I've even got here. So hello to Bay, hello to Christine, hello to Oh Dear, hello to Ewald, or Ewald is that? Hello to Soliada, hello to Vinnie Blair and James Med4. Now let me see who else I can see by scrolling down. Hello to Van Algil, Candice, and Marilyn, Christine, Deborah, Holly Anderson, and I think almost the whole gang's in here, and Kimberly as well. Okay, now I want to read some of these comments, so let me go straight down. For those of you who are new to this channel, basically it's a channel where we talk about the royal family, and these Talk of the Crown episodes are where you ask me questions about what you want about the British royal family. So the format is the same every single week. We are live 10 o'clock GMT time, which is British time. So you can work out the time for you. Just say hello or ask a question. Sandy says, oh my God, look at it. I don't know what you mean. Look at what? Let me see. What can you see? Stephen Bridges Road says, I like the uniform. Thank you so much. Ella Wynn says, you look great. Thank you. And Nina says, love the brooch with the uniform. Yes, it's one of my gift ones that I had off viewers. Pamela says, hello, Elliot. The jacket is gorgeous. Thank you so much. It's new. And I will tell you more about it later. Holly Anderson says, oh my, how smashing you look. And Jamie, our resident moderator, is in the room, back from a holiday. He was on holiday last week. If you can call it a holiday, I would like to use the words Uber. Anyway, welcome back to Jamie. The rules of the chat are just really, really simple. Just be kind and nice to each other, and there will be no problems. Julianne says, you're quite fetching. Thank you so much. And James Med4 says, I love, have I joined the King's Troop? No, but I will give you a little twirl because there's more to this outfit than just what you can see, actually. So I will show you more in a bit. Megan B is watching from Disneyland. Wow, I feel like I should be in Disneyland today. So I will tell you, I'm sure you're all wondering, this is actually an Amazon wish list gift from one of you guys. And in fact, I've had quite a lot this week. As you've probably seen if you've been watching the channel. In fact, today I put up 2 sort of compilation videos of opening things from my Amazon wishlist. But there was 2 things which I didn't show you. In fact, I teased you with the cuff of this jacket. Now, the jacket was from Holly Anderson. So thank you so much to Holly for this amazing gift. And I will give you a twirl in a moment. Now, I think there's a little elephant in the room, don't you think? Do you know what the elephant is? No, it's not my new boyfriend. It's a giant life-size Meghan and Harry cutout from Sandy Hairston. So thank you so much to Sandy. I didn't want to give it away. I wanted you to just log on to the chat and suddenly find this amazing Harry and Meghan. And let me just do a little run through of what I've actually received from the Amazon wishlist so far, because I've been absolutely blown away. I had a really lovely British bow tie and top hat from Betsy. Mary bought me the Prince Charles book. I had a tea towel and mug from Marilyn and another set of tea towels too. The jacket was from Holly Anderson. I had a tea set tins from Holly too. I had my royal bears from Sharon Nichols. And obviously the Harry and Meghan cutout from Sandy. I mean, it was absolutely phenomenal. So thank you, a really, really, really big thank you to everyone who has contributed to this channel and the fun of this channel from the Amazon wishlist. Marilyn says, I'm loving the jacket so much, we must have a twirl. Okay, are you ready for a twirl? I've actually put jeans on for this. I probably shouldn't be wearing jeans with it, but look, can you see? It's really, really good, look. And the detail on the back. And if I just stand here next to my Harry, oh, look. Shall I smell Harry? Let me see what he smells like in real life. Oh. Eau de cardboard. I wonder if the real Harry actually smells of cardboard. What do you think? Look, and I wonder, is it... Well, it's supposed to be life size. So if Harry is this tall, he only just fits in my house. And we'll ignore the Meghan for a moment because Harry's my boyfriend. And it's actually me and Harry getting married on May the 19th, not Meghan. No, I kid. I love you, Meghan. And I think you'll do an amazing job. You all know that. I'm joking. I do love Meghan. But I might be putting a tea towel on her head later. Okay, I'm just trying to read some of the comments. Okay. Sylvia says, I've seen a lot of negative comments about Meghan Markle being in America, but being American, and people not wanting her to become part of the royal family. Do Brits think this? No, the general feeling is that we really like her. We have no issues with her, really. Pamela says the cutout is great, perfect for Elliot. It is indeed, my new boyfriend. Nina says, I love the book. Holly says it's perfect. Juliana says sort of Sergeant Pepperish. Dawn is laughing. Marilyn is freaking out about the cutout. And yes, Dawn, I do believe they are life size. They are exact size. Sheila did say, no, not the King's Troop, the Royal Chat Corps. And David says, did you see that Meghan Markle is in my town this weekend? No, I didn't. Which town is that? Let me know. And Melody says, hi, you look awesome. So I'm reading these comments out of sync because my screen skipped some of them. So let me know in the comment section below on the actual video, once this goes live, what you think about the life-size cutout of Meghan and Harry. And in fact, my cat, Rory, those of you who know Rory, he's the tabby cat, not the black one. He walked into the room and just stood. And he thought they were real people. And I've been storing them just around the corner, and every time I walk around the corner, I jump because I think someone's there. They really do look, I'm not sure if it's coming across on camera, but they really do look real. It's quite freaky, but it's really, really good. And I have my cutout Harry. It's amazing. MSMB 2012 says, my pleasure. Hope you enjoy the book. I'm sure I will once I get a chance to sit down and have a good read of it. So thank you so much. Hello to Melissa. Lady Dawn says, ignore the Meghan. I'm just ignoring the Meghan. It's just all about me and Harry. Meghan, I love you. Candice says, gotta love a man in uniform, and Jamie's laughing. Shayna says, is Meghan the first African-American in the royal family? I do believe so, as in kind of like directly. I know some people are going to say Queen Charlotte was biracial, but that was like 16 generations in her past. So I think Meghan, as far as I'm aware, is the first kind of like a biracial or direct kind of African-American in the royal family. I do believe. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think so. Jamie's laughing. Cat fight. And hello to David Williamson. Arnold Sanders says the tabloids say Andrew hates Meghan. Which tabloid? And they are wrong. Holly Anderson says, thank you, Vinny. It was fun to send it to Elliot. He's such a flair. Thank you. I mean, I have no idea where I'm going to store them. in the meantime. I might bring them out every week and stand them in the back. What do you think? But they have been in their flat cardboard box behind my dishwasher in my utility cupboard all week. But I could bring them out every week. What do you think? Liz Ross says, I am new to chat from the Cayman Islands. Well, hello to you from the Cayman Islands. Oh dear says, I think you could snip out Meghan. Well, the bit that stands them up is on Meghan. Not that I've considered cutting her off. But the bit that stands them up is actually on Meghan. I'm not saying anything. Sylvia says, thank you for answering my question. I'm happy you guys love our Californian girl. We do. We absolutely do. And I know I'm joking about Meghan now, but I really do wish them the most happiest of wedding days and the most happiest of marriages. I think she's lovely, and I think she's a really great addition to the royal family. But I will be putting one of my new royal tea towels on her head later. Annette says, finally some height in the royal family. Christine says, will Harry wear a uniform for the wedding? Yes. Now, I think my personal choice that I think he will wear is probably the Royal Marines uniform, because obviously, you know, he has a lot to do with the Royal Marines. He's taken over from Prince Philip. So I'm predicting the Royal Marines one. However, we do know that William chose a different uniform to the one that he eventually wore for his wedding, and the Queen intervened, and she had a very strong opinion on which uniform he should wear. So we'll have to wait and see what the Queen thinks. I do actually think that is one thing that the Queen really does have a strong opinion on, is the fashion for men in royal weddings. I think she instinctively knows which uniform they should go for. And I think she got it right with Prince William, because the one he wore was amazing and it just completely suited and fitted. So I'm thinking the Queen will have a lot to do with it, but probably the Royal Marines. Carolyn says, wow, I just came on and look at the cool stuff making me smile. Vinny says, welcome, Liz, you'll have fun. Well, we all have fun, don't we? Jamie says, do I plan on wearing this down Tesco's? Well, I don't do Tesco's, I do Sainsbury's, and this is perfect for Sainsbury's. Shayna says, is Meghan the first? I think I've answered that one, so I don't think I need to do that one again. Okay. Let me find the questions. Okay, the reason why sometimes I go quiet and I'm searching for the comments is because my chat window always jumps. And sometimes when it skips to the bottom, I have to go back up again to find all the comments because I don't want to miss any. So if I have missed out your comment and it was really important, then just type it again, because I may accidentally have missed some. Pamela says, do you think Harry and Meghan will take a honeymoon, and where might they go? Yes, I do think they will take a honeymoon. And I'm predicting, of course we don't know, but I'm predicting maybe Africa, because they both have a love of Africa. And there are some pretty, romantic, scenic places to stay in Africa. And I've just got a feeling they might go there. But, it also could be a honeymoon where they go to different places. They might go to Africa, or they may spend a few days up at Balmoral for peace and seclusion. I don't know. We will have to wait and see. I'm sure once they're back from the honeymoon, or even midway through the honeymoon, something might be released or leaked. But yes, I think they will definitely have a honeymoon. Where, we don't know, but I think probably Africa. Oh dear says, I've got some great gear for fancy dress this year. You'll have to come up with plans to wear it all. Every week is fancy dress week. Linda says, hello. Hello to you, Linda Crocker. David Williamson says, how long does the Queen have to go before she retires, and what will happen then? There is no date of retirement. there is no retirement age for a monarch. The retirement age for a monarch is death. Death is when you retire for a monarch. Obviously, what you're talking about is more like abdication or perhaps a regency period. Well, I've spoken about this before, but I'll go through it again anyway, because I'm sure some of you have missed it. But with a regency period, the monarch either has to be absent. So, for example, when they used to go away on 6-month tours, or they were away in battle, they would have they would leave behind a regent. Another reason for having a regency is if the monarch is of unsound mind. So if, for example, if the Queen got dementia or Alzheimer's or was mentally incapacitated, then a regency could be invoked. And of course, the Prince Regent would be Prince Charles. And the third reason is if the monarch is literally incapacitated, i.e., I don't know, she fell off a horse and broke her neck, for example. I mean, I'm just saying something. So if she was medically incapacitated, there is no precedent for for a regency invoked because of a retirement. The Queen is still of sound mind, she's still of able body, and she is not absent. So I don't think that we will ever enter into a regency period until three of those categories, until one of those three categories have been met. In terms of retirement, she's made it quite clear that that she does view being monarch as a role until death. You know, my life, whether it be long or short, shall be dedicated to your service. And I think she really, really stands by that and means that. So unless she dies or meets one of the regency criterias, I don't think she will retire. But what we have seen and what we will continue to see is a lessening of her role, a slow handover to Prince Charles, more delegation going on in the family, and small steps taken to alleviate some of the encumbrances of old age, such as taking a lift up to the state opening of Parliament instead of the steps, for example. So there are things being done to make it easier for her in old age, but I don't think she's going to retire, and there is certainly no set age limit. Mother of the Drummer says, a face to the voice, greetings from snowy Canada. Hello, and I hope the face fits. Rodney Jackson says, hello, I enjoy the chat, thank you so much. Julianne says, we will pretend Meghan is not there. It's just about me and Harry. Jeff says, big spender, Miss Anderson, gorgeous jacket. It's lovely, thank you so much. Zona says, hello, can anyone tell me what station will broadcast the royal wedding so I can see it here in the US? Is it true that William and Catherine are getting a divorce, or is it fake news? Yes, I'll start with that one. It's fake news. They are not getting a divorce. And in fact, the Lindo wing is preparing itself for the birth of royal baby number 3. So definitely no divorce. That is fake news. As for the actual broadcast in the US, I'm not entirely sure, but I did hear that it was going to be streamed live. And I think it was the official royal family page on Facebook, I do believe, was going to stream it live. So do go and check that out, because I may be wrong, but I'm sure I heard it was being streamed live on Facebook and possibly YouTube too. I'm not sure. You'll have to wait and see. But I would imagine many of the US major news stations will be carrying it live. I'm sure there will be programs dedicated to it. It will be viewed all over the world. Can you imagine, Carolyn, if I took them to the wedding? Oh my goodness. Bertie says, Elliot, I missed the royal wedding as I'm on my DV. Oh no. Absolutely devastated that I can't watch it or stay updated with the rest of the world. Oh no. Can you take a phone? Can you take a phone with you on the DV? I don't know. Oh no. That is a big bummer for you. Princess Colombiana, I love the name, says, hi, love your channel. Thank you so much. Dawn says, did they come in a box that big, or were they folded somehow? If you'd look in my last unboxing video, I've posted 2 today, you will see the box that they came in. It's a really thin box, but it's quite large, and they were folded quite flat. Julianne says they add a special touch. I think they do too. They add to the ambience. Pamela says, yes, Royal Chat needs these cutouts. Every week, do you think? There is a cutout of the Queen as well. I'm just saying. Vinny Blair says, bring them out every week until the wedding at least. Okay, deal. And maybe I could dress Meghan up for the wedding. Maybe I could put a tea towel, like a veil, and maybe a tiara might fit. What do you think? Okay, leave me a comment and suggestion. How should I dress them for the wedding? Leave me some suggestions, because I'm going to have to be quite creative. Princess Columbiana says, I'm new too. Well, welcome. Susan says, hello, Elliot. Hello to you. Sandy says, I'm so glad you like your Harry. It looks great. He does look great. He's my Harry. And I now have a Harry. Marilyn says, Zona Smith, I believe you can watch the royal wedding on all the broadcast channels from the US, but certainly NBC. They are starting at 5 a.m. Eastern on May the 19th. Okay, there you go. Marilyn is in the know. She's the girl in the know. And I trust that to be correct. So apparently all the major broadcast channels from the US are showing it. So there you go. Zona says, so when will part 5 of The Crown going to air? What do you mean this chat that we're on now? Immediately after the chat, it instantly uploads onto my main channel, so you can watch on catch up. So and Hangouts on Air, which is what I'm filming it through, have only recently started putting the actual chat window that I can see and that you can see with all the comments on the catch up, which is why I try and read all the comments, because before it didn't have that feature. But now you can watch it on catch up on my main channel if you miss an episode, or if you've missed half an hour or whatever, or if you have to pop off somewhere, you can always come back and catch up, and you can see the comment section too. So it's really handy. And make sure you give the video a big thumbs up. It really does help. Glenn is from New Jersey. Hello to you. Oh no, I've just lost all my comments again. Right, I'm going up. Going up, going up, going up. Okay. Julianne says, is it going to make London hard to get around? Not London, it's Windsor. The royal wedding is in Windsor. And I believe the last thing I read was that there are at least 6,000 parking spaces available in one area. I think it's some kind of stadium or something. So there's lots of car parking spaces. I would imagine trying to find somewhere to stay the night would be really, really hard. And I'd imagine to get a really good place to be able to watch, you'd have to get there really, really early, maybe a day or so before, and kind of like camp out a bit to get a really good spot. If you've got an invite, that's even better, because you'll probably be given a prime position, and also back at the castle too, where there'll be, you know, screens, or you'll be having, you know, there'll be marquees where you can have food and stuff to eat. But for the crowds, there are facilities, there are toilets and amenities, and there are going to be big screens where you can watch what's going on the inside of the church, outside of the church. So if you are lucky enough to be a spectator there at the event, then you will be treated really well, as far as you can be, with a big, massive crowd anyway. Linda says, thank you for all your chats to keep us informed. You are welcome. I enjoy it. Countess Bavaria says, it's certainly a superior channel, I trust. Unlike many of the others, there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of fake royal news channels out there, so please beware. Jojo says you should bring them out every week until the wedding. Okay, it's a done deal. I will bring them out every week until the wedding. Carolyn says, I missed something. Why are we ignoring Meghan? It's a joke. I was saying earlier that the cardboard cutout would be even more perfect if it didn't have Meghan on it, because then it would just be me and my Harry. But I am joking. It is in jest. I do love Meghan. You all know that I love Meghan because ever since Meghan's been on the scene, I have always championed Meghan and said, you can go back to my live chats from when they first dated. And I remember sitting here and saying to you, this relationship is different. It's not like the other girlfriends that he's had previously. I said, this is different. It feels different. This is going somewhere. And you can go back, and I most definitely did say that right from the beginning, and all the way through I have said that it's different. It feels different. It feels like he's really met his soulmate, and she's a very, very different girl than the girls he's gone for previously. I said it's on record. I said previously he went for very kind of like bohemian chic, sort of blonde, bubbly, vivacious type characters. And then here we find him with, you know, dark-haired, very intelligent, very highly intelligent, educated, quite demure in certain areas. I know she's done certain things that aren't demure for work purposes, but you know, in her character, she's quite intelligent. I mean, she comes across to be quite intelligent. Certainly different from the others that he was with previously, and I've always said it just felt different, and I just knew that it was meant to be. And you can go back and check that out because I most certainly did. Okay, let me go and find some more comments. Okay, Soliada222 says, will Eugenie's wedding cause as much excitement as Harry and Meghan's, or would it not get much promotion? They don't really tend to promote the weddings anyway. What they have done with Harry and Meghan, and I think this is part of the security detail, is that they have drip fed out information such as who the florist is going to be, who the cake design is going to be, who the photographer is going to be. And by the way, this week we did find out that the photographer is going to be Alexei Lubomirsky, and I hope I've said that correct. And I did make a video on that, so do go and check that out. So I think as part of the security detail to kind of lessen the press intrusion is to drip feed out certain bits of information, but we certainly won't know the dress designer unless it leaks elsewhere until the actual day. And I don't think we'll know what the titles are going to be until the day either. And I think, like I say, that's all part of the security detail. Some might call it promotion, but I don't think it is. I think it's part of the security detail on the whole thing. It's probable that they will do the same for Eugenie's wedding, but it's doubtful that it will be televised. It will probably be more in line with what we saw for Zara's wedding, where we just got to see who was coming in and out of the church and not the actual ceremony itself. But who knows? We will have to wait and see. Pamela says, how is Prince Philip doing now he's home? Well, okay, he was in hospital for 10 or 11 days, which is longer than expected for usual. And he did come out. Princess Anne was the first to visit the day previously, and I did bring you all the footage on that. He seemed fine. He seemed in good spirits. Princess Anne certainly seemed happy when she came out from visiting him with a smile on her face. So I don't think there was anything major. He waved to the crowd as he was being driven out. He did come out of the side entrance. If we remember back to the Queen Mother, when she had her hip replacement operations, when she came out of the hospital, she was on sticks and she was walking down the steps quite well. And I don't think Philip is quite up to that level yet. I don't think that, says anything about the seriousness of his health condition. I think it's just that it's just taking him a little bit longer to rehab. And it's probable that he was in a wheelchair at the moment, although I would imagine, knowing his sort of personality, that he will be doing everything he can to get back on his feet. I would imagine, he'll have been driving everyone mad, not being able to get up and do the things that he normally does. I imagine he will be trying his best to do all the physio and more, just so he can get back up and be ready for the wedding, be able to do his beloved carriage driving again. I can't imagine him being in the best of patience in terms of having patience with things. I would imagine, you know, he wants to be up and well straight away, and it's probably very frustrating for him that he can't. But like I say, he's the sort of personality that isn't going to sit there and just, you know, moan away the time. He's going to try and be as constructive as he can, and I'm sure, you know, like I say, he will be doing everything he can to do all the physio that he's been given and more, because that's the sort of person that he is. But he's out of the hospital, which means that he's doing better than he was when he was in the hospital. So so let's just wish him a most speedy recovery, I think. Okay. Zona says, is it true that William and Catherine are getting a divorce? No, they're not getting a divorce. Janice says, hello, Elliot. Absolutely loving your jacket. Thank you so much. I love it too. And Mallory says, hello, it's my new favorite channel. Princess Columbiana says, hi, I love your show. And no, William and Catherine are not getting a divorce. Jamie says, William wanted the Blues and Royals coat dress, but it's the long black one he wears on St. Patrick's Day, and the Queen thought it was too dark and not bright enough. The Marines dress is also black, so not sure. I mean, like I say, it is very, very difficult to choose the correct uniform, and I do trust the Queen's eye. I think she knows what's going to be the best type of uniform, and it's very doubtful that he'll wear what William wore. I still think it could possibly be the Marines one, because like I say, he has just taken on Philip's role with that, but we'll have to wait and see. It also depends upon maybe what Meghan's wearing, how it contrasts, the look of the whole wedding. We don't know what's going on, but the Queen does have a very strong opinion, and I think we should all trust the Queen's opinion. She knows what she's talking about. Zona says, are William and Catherine going to be king and queen? Yes, eventually, after Charles and Camilla. Candice says, wow, 134 are watching right now. Hello to the 134. David Williamson says, she is not in the royal family yet, indeed. Although they are taking very unusual steps in involving Meghan before marriage in things that would usually come after marriage. So we are seeing some unprecedented moves within the royal family. They do seem very eager to get her, you know, involved in royal life, almost like they literally just can't wait to get her in the family and working and taking on roles. She seems like she's taking to it really well. As I've said, you know, she's going to carry on tweaking her performance, if you like, and into her royal role. She's going to be learning more and more and more on the job. They don't really give on the job training to be a working royal. You just kind of have to get out there and find your own style and your own way of being a working royal. And that's what Meghan is doing. And I think she's doing it really, really well under the glare of the public eye. Blossom Rose says, that's why we love you. You are so funny. Thank you so much. Dawn says, I can't wait for the wedding. Will you be wearing that jacket with your top hat or your morning suit or a tea towel over my head? So many decisions. Maybe I should ask the Queen. Okay. Okay. Now we played this game a while ago and we haven't done it for a long time. And that is where, do you remember at one point we were convinced that somebody in the palace was watching, and we were saying, okay, maybe the Queen should wear this colour or wear that, or Jamie said, I think Jamie suggested a brooch, the Grima ruby. And then week after week, that sometime in the following week, the Queen would wear a particular outfit, a random outfit that we'd seen her in before, and we'd mentioned it in chat, and the Queen would wear that outfit or that colour or that brooch the week after. and we were convinced that somebody was watching from the palace and having a little communication with us via fashion, which is kind of, I suppose, a bit like the Queen's humour. I don't think it particularly was the Queen, but maybe someone close to the Queen or somebody who works in the royal household. I had my suspicions that it may have been Angela Kelly herself, the royal fashion designer, or the in-house fashion designer and dressmaker to the Queen who runs the team, or at least somebody in the team. So how can we get a message to the Queen or somebody within the palace to suggest what I should wear for the royal wedding? Should it be this? Should it be my blue velour? Should it be my morning suit with my top hat? Somehow, maybe the Queen could communicate. Let's make a suggestion. So if the Queen would like this, then maybe she should wear blue this week. If she likes my morning suit with top hat, perhaps she should wear red. There you go. I'm just putting it out there. Let's see what comes back. In fact, Jamie was very, very good. Going back to the same subject, Jamie was very good at choosing a random outfit that the Queen hasn't worn for absolutely ages, and the Queen wore it the very next week. Jamie says, Dawn, you are going to explode if this wedding doesn't happen soon. I'm sure she will. Spontaneously combust. Shayna says, yes, I agree. Leave Meghan alone. I'm biracial as well. And so she has become a dream come true. I'm sure, she's a role model for women in general. And I think what we're going to be seeing from the charities that she supports is that she's going to try, I think, and be a leading light for women in general, and sort of like women's rights and what women can do and what women can achieve. But the fact that she's biracial, that she has a non-white heritage, if you like, can also be very inspiring to a lot of people who are similar to Meghan, who are either biracial or African American, African, whatever. If you're different, if you have something, of course we're all different, aren't we? But if you are similar to Meghan, then she can be a very inspiring character, an inspiring person, and kind of shine that example and lead the way. And I think that can be very effective in today's world. And I think she will use who she is, her background, to further certain causes which are going to help a lot of people, and that can only be a good thing. MSNB 2012 says 132 people are watching. Hit the like button and thumbs up. And by the way, hit the notification bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video, because I don't think YouTube is sending out all the notifications just yet. Dawn is jumping up and down, clapping at her hands, ready for the royal wedding. James Med4 says, I think the Queen likes Royal Navy. Her father and grandmother served in it. Prince Charles wore that uniform with a blue sash, looked smart, but William looked very dashing in his red uniform. Again, there is all the different forces that they could choose from, but I'm going to take a wild guess and say the Marines. Marilyn says, why does the Queen always wear such bright monochromatic colours? That's a big word for a Saturday night. She had a bright purple dress and coat this week and wore an orange dress and coat in Sandringham. Well, I predicted the orange dress at Sandringham because ages ago I said she should wear pumpkin. And sure enough, a couple of months later, she wore what can only be described as pumpkin. But yes, the royal purple was amazing. And that was the engagement where she went to an old folks it wasn't an old folks home. What was it? I did make a note of it. It was a day centre. There we go. I couldn't find the right words. The Queen visited an elderly person's day centre. And, she looked really sprightly and lovely in her purple. She certainly didn't belong in a day centre, let's put it that way. But she made everyone look really, really happy. And she always wears bright colours so she can be seen. She said she has to be seen to be believed. And if you're wearing a block bright colours, then you can be seen from very far off in a crowd. Colleen is watching from Canada. Emerson B 2012 is leaving, but we'll watch on catch up. Goodbye to you. Sandy says all major USA networks will be airing the royal wedding starting at 4 a.m. May the 19th. Sheila says this is the best chat room for love, truth, and respect for others. So please find another channel, haters, slanderers, and malicious gossipers. I agree. Nina says Meghan needs a veil and tiara. Well, I haven't quite got a veil. Would a lace doily do? Okay, I've lost my comments again. Hang on. Hello to Jane from Naples. Hello to Crystal Neal. If I've missed any comments, please retype. Christine says, what does everyone think of Tobias Menzies as Prince Philip? I loved him in Outlander, but I don't know. And to be honest, I'm not really familiar with what he's been in, but from the photograph I saw of him, I do think he will, once he's been, you know, had hair and makeup done, I think he will look quite convincing as Prince Philip. So I can only hope and pray for the best, because I really do love The Crown, and I can't wait for Series 3 to be filmed and come out. Annette says, Connie, I thumbs up at the end or I lose the feed. Oh no. Please don't lose the feed. Arnold says, I like that Meghan didn't invite her coattail riding family. She certainly has only invited the people that she wanted to invite. And I did put on my list that one thing that has come out this week is that the Obamas aren't invited. No political leader has been invited. In fact, because he is, you know, currently 5th in line to the throne. When royal baby's born, he'll be 6th in line to the throne. He's quite far down the line in terms of the fact that he probably won't ever be king. So there's no need for it to be an official wedding where official dignitaries have to be invited. It was slightly different with William because he's in the direct line of succession. Harry is a little bit further away from that now. And I think it's been decided that it primarily will be a friends and family wedding in the actual church building. So whoever Meghan and Harry want in there will be in there. And it's not going to be overrun by politicians, foreign royals, dignitaries, ambassadors, and all the rest of it, clergy. It won't be. It will be more of a private, friendly atmosphere. Who knows? The Obamas may be going to the after party and the reception. Who knows? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I think David and Victoria Beckham have confirmed that they are going. Nora says, hello. Cool military garb. Thanks to our queen for the comments about the bus crash concerning the Humboldt Broncos hockey team. I did make a note of that too. Yes, the Queen and Prince Philip sent a message of condolence regarding the Humboldt Broncos team. And the message went out to Canadians in general, and in particular, the friends and family of those that lost their lives. So if you want to watch that video where I read the full statement, then please do go ahead and watch it. And you can also leave your own messages of support in the comment section there too. Who knows, maybe one of the grieving families may be searching for things. They may come across the messages and they may find some strength in reading some kind words. Sheila says, oh no, the beard must remain for the wedding. Removing it will darken the day. I really hope Harry keeps his beard for the wedding. Please don't shave it. I like the beard. Sandy says, yes, I remember you said those same words about Meghan in the beginning. I did. And I was right. David says, I find it strange that the Queen will hand over to Prince Charles after him being a bad boy. Well, there is no definition of bad boy. And the Queen doesn't get to choose who she hands over to. It's a line of succession, and Charles is the next in the line. It has to be Charles. Dawn keeps running back to her mailbox every day and still no invite. No, I'm still waiting for my invite as well. Rachel says, what a lovely picture of Harry and Meghan. Actually, it's really, really good. And it's very lifelike. Like I say, I've been turning around the corner and jumping because I think there's someone there. My cats are being, in particular Rory, is being totally freaked out by it. When he woke up from a nap, and I put them in my dining room, and he looked and he went, and he just couldn't stop staring. So I picked him up and I had to show him that they were like that thin and not real people, and he still ran off outside. So I'm going to have to collapse them after this chat, so that my cats won't be scared, because they do look quite lifelike from the front, I have to say. Annette says, yes, the Queen has no choice. It's the line of succession. Jamie says, really, Dawn, it should be there by now. Mine came a month ago. And of course, the wedding invite. I really wished I'd have had one, but I didn't. Candice says, oh, Elliot, your partner is going to be terribly jealous of your Harry. I might put them in the bed. Debbie says, nice to see you again. And I love the cardboard cutout of Harry and Meghan. And yes, you always have lots of love for Meghan. I do indeed. Dawn says, Jamie, guessing I'm going as your guest. Woohoo! You're Jamie's +1. Cindy says, how does your partner feel about my royalty obsession? My husband thinks I'm mad. I would say it's along those lines. Rachel says, have you worn your top hat yet? I've tried it on. I tried it on for a video. I made my opening video. I haven't worn it. I haven't had occasion to wear it in public, but I'm planning possibly to wear it as my outfit for the royal wedding. Or I maybe next week or the week after, depending on when royal baby is born. We'll have to wait and see. Jamie says, just imagine you're arriving with your iPads and biscuits and fits of giggles. I think arriving to a wedding with biscuits is a good idea. Vinny says, I can't understand. No one visited Prince Philip for 9 days. I think it's got a lot to do with possible security, and also the fact that most of the royal family are working. Prince Charles was in Australia, for example. The Queen had engagements. And I also think they probably were expecting him to come out maybe sooner. So they kind of kept putting it off. Also, Prince Philip probably, maybe out of his own wishes, didn't want them to come and see him in a incapacitated state. I know he's definitely not used to that. We do know that Princess Anne came the day before he came out of hospital. And of course, she probably just desperately wanted to go and see him. But I would imagine there would have been constant telephone calls from family coming in. And like I say, I think Philip, he's a very practical person. He wouldn't have wanted people to have altered their diary commitments for him. He's a very practical, selfless person. He'd have been very much like, no, I'm okay. You carry on with your days that you've got planned. I'll be out soon. And of course, he's out now. And like I say, I think video contact would have been made. And we know that the Queen does have an iPad. I'm sure it's an iPad. Maybe they FaceTimed. Who knows? But I don't think it necessarily matters, because like I say, there will have been contact between them. He will not have been just on his own. And he'll have been concentrating very, very hard on getting himself rehabbed as well. Jeff says, I could set up a display room in the extra bedroom if you have it. I don't have an extra bedroom. That's the problem. I don't have anywhere. I need my own space. In fact, one of the things that I'm trying to save up for is to have maybe some kind of pod or an outbuilding or even a shed. It might come to the point where I just need a shed somewhere in the garden. And if I can get internet in there and electric, then perhaps I could start doing more from there, because I'm at the point where I do need my own little space to do my work and to do my recording and do my filming and leave the lights up, and there's lots of things I really want to do that require me kind of to have my own space, and I'm desperately trying to save up to be able to do something along those lines. But until then, you'll have to make do with my kitchen. Okay, let's see if I can move down those comments without skipping loads of them. Oh no, I skipped loads. Okay. Where was I? Okay, Sue says, oh no, I'll go to Marilyn first. Marilyn says, are sticks like crutches or a cane? I love the differences between the UK and American English language. A walking stick is just like a stick with a handle. A stick with a handle is a walking stick. A crutch is the one that goes under your arm and you kind of like hobble on. Maybe they're the same words. And a cane is just like a stick that hasn't got a handle. It's got more of like a knob on the top that you hold, but it's like long and thin. Maybe they have the same meaning where you are. Sue says, is there any truth that Prince Charles and Prince Andrew are at loggerheads about Andrew's daughters? Thanks for a lovely channel. Well, you're welcome. This is quite old news. There was some media talk that Prince Andrew and Charles had fallen out over the roles of his daughters. And we do know that they do not have official... Okay, let me just backtrack a little bit. Let's start with what we do know. So the facts are that Princess Beatrice and Eugenie do not have an official working royal status. Even though they are princesses of the United Kingdom, they do not have official roles. They aren't supported by any royal money. They are supported by their father and whatever work they do themselves. It is believed that Prince Andrew wanted them to have a larger role, particularly when the Queen and Prince Philip at the time needed to pass on some of the work. Since then, Philip has retired and some of his work has been passed on and shared around the family. So there's increasing possibility that they may come into the fold a little bit more in terms of working royals, because as more and more of the elderly royals retire or pass away, sometimes you have to just say it as it is once they pass away, a lot of that work that they undertake will be spare. And rather than not have a royal patron, I think Prince Charles, when he is king, is going to change his mind. Let's put it that way. If it is true that he wants a more slimmed down monarchy, what he's going to find is that when the elderly royals die off or retire, that there's going to be a lot of work that hasn't got a royal patron. And I think he's going to see two, dutiful young girls who are going to want a role, and that there is work there for them. And I think at that point, they will come in and possibly become working royals to take on some of that slack. But that won't happen until Harry and Meghan and William and Catherine are at capacity. Once they're at capacity, then I think there will be a need for Harry and Meghan to come in and to do that. But certainly I don't think we'll see any formal role for them until that. And with the story that you're talking about, I do believe that the Queen delegated the decision to Charles, and Charles said that he didn't think that there was a need for the princesses of York to have a formal role yet. But like I say, I think in due course, Charles will see that there is possibly a need for them. Okay, Annette says, Elliot, women are tougher and push back pain better. With physical therapy, you have to push past the pain, just do it and such. Okay, I will have to say, I do think that Philip is quite a determined character, though. And, let's not forget that when in his younger days, he was tough. I mean, you know, he loved Gordonstone, for example, which is where he went to school, and that is a very tough place, a very physical, tough place. And I just think maybe, you know, his recovery is just probably slower than the Queen Mother's, but that's okay. You know, due to his age, it's fine. He doesn't have to spring back in days. He can take his time, and I'm sure, like I say, he's very determined, and he will be trying his best to bring himself back up to what he was. Jamie says the fact that only Anne visited in such a long period probably shows it was all a bit sudden. Diamond Danae says a young girl who got an invite to the wedding, she won the Diana Award, will have all paid for her and a guest by the couple for 3 days. Dawn says the way the weather is going here, won't see my gazebo anytime soon. Another 20 centimetres of snow expected. Oh no. Marilyn says, I can imagine the Queen having Prince Harry parade out in front of her in an array of uniforms while she has a cup of tea and the corgis are barking at him. Possibly, although we do know that Meghan is a bit of a corgi whisperer. Apparently the corgis love Meghan. She just has the touch with corgis, which I'm sure won over the Queen instantly, I would imagine. And yes, remember, give me a big thumbs up. And Jamie says, one is not amused. Rachel says, Prince Edward was in Hobart, Tasmania last week. That is where I live. Yes, he has been in Australia presenting awards, I do think. So sort of when Charles came back, he was there. So lots of royal visits for Australia. Okay, and I'm just trying to find the comments again. Okay, Candice says, when I had my hip replaced almost 5 years ago, the nurses had me up and walking that evening. Hip replacement isn't a nice surgery, but I'm so glad the pain is now gone. 150 watching. Wow, hello to the 150. And yes, please give me a big old like. It really does help if you give the channel a big like. It helps the YouTube algorithm know that people like the video, and then it suggests the video to more people. So it's a good way of getting more people involved in the live chat if you give it a big old thumbs up and leave a comment once this show goes live on my main channel. No, sadly, I'm not going to the wedding. Sheila says, demure is the word you need. Everything else is in her character of an actress on the job, in her demeanour, deportment, etc. She seems quite finished to me. I still think she's refining her royal look in fashion and in mannerism as well. I do think we'll see her keep her personality, and I don't want to see her personality go, but I do think she will refine herself more. For example, she'll soon find out that it's very exhausting to be doing the wave like that. You know, she'll soon find that it's much easier on the wrists, less physical, to just, you know, give a little wave. I'm sure. One thing I really want to see is when Meghan finally adopts the royal wave. You know, that will be everything. I will live for that moment. Jamie says, Lady Buckingham, push away the comfy couch and newly installed cabinet and install the gazebo in the living room. Hello to Joyce. Vinnie Blair says, Meghan Markle is a hard worker, has gotten on with it all her life, I agree, and is eager to roll up her sleeves for Harry and the family and get on with it. Jamie says, can I make a poll on here right now? I don't know. I don't want to try tampering in case it does something and I mess up the entire chat, but I might check for later, maybe for next week. I can make a poll on my main channel, if that's what you mean. Oh dear says, morning suit with top hat and tiara. Okay, yes, I could make a poll. I see what you mean, about what to wear. Of course, I'm catching up with the comments right now. Mary says, has there been any more discussion as to whether Camilla will be called Queen or not? No, there is no more discussion. By UK law, the wife of the king is Queen Consort until that law is changed. Camilla is in line to be the next Queen Consort. Marilyn Blythe says, I am excited Meghan will participate in some of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting 2018 activities coming up this week. Yes, that's another example of Meghan coming into the fold early before the actual wedding, and I can't wait to see that too. H.A. Bracken says, a noon wedding requirement is a morning suit with top hat. Okay, well, I do have a morning suit and I do have a top hat, so it could be that one. James Med4 says, I want you to wear your whole morning suit and a good modelling of it. Christine is top hat and morning suit. Victoria says, hello to you. And how will you be celebrating the royal wedding? Watch it at home, throwing a party? Well, I'll be watching it at home. I may have a little one-on-one party, and I may even be live streaming. And I'll certainly be making videos. So I've got to keep the channel going. So yes, I will be at home watching it. Jamie says, and if the Queen prefers naked Elliot, what? Naked Elliot? Then she too must attend all engagements nude this week. No. We will not be having a nude Queen. And I most certainly will not be nude. Most certainly not. Not unless I can get a loincloth made of pregnant beaver. Okay, I'm going up. Okay, I've just found the comments. Right, here we go. I'm going to try and skip down some of them quite quickly. So yes, people are saying the morning suit, 150 watching. Jamie thinks the Queen will wear the snowflake brooch at the wedding along with a matching colour, i.e. dark blue, light blue or white. Well, Jamie's quite good at guessing, so we'll leave that one out there in the ether. Diamond Danae says, it is snowing and ice pellets too where you are in Canada. Sharon says, hello from snowed in Bridgeport, Nebraska. Candice says, Elliot, you could select Meghan's wedding dress and veil. What would they look like? Oh, I don't know. I'd have to have a think. Okay, let's move down. Joyce says, have a great week, spending mine at your family reunion at Cabins in Hill Country here. See everyone next week. There you go. Jamie says, Theresa May defiantly took one for the team here to avoid a diplomatic mishap. And greetings to Claudia from the Netherlands. Odia says, Meghan's sister was on media in the US saying they're looking forward to getting their wedding invitations. Well, unless they're stuck in freight, then they probably aren't going to get one. Midnight Hazel says, all of us are mixed races, unless one is 100% from the country you are from. I agree. I mean, if you go back far enough in anyone's timeline, there will be something or other thrown up where, you know, you'll have some kind of different heritage coming into your family line. And in fact, there was a video, which I haven't posted it yet, but there was talk from the 80s that the Queen is actually descended from the Prophet Muhammad. And historians, proper credible historians from proper credible genealogical societies have done proper tracing back of the timelines. And somewhere in the, I think it was the 1500s or 1600s, something along that line, the descendants of Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, intermingled with the Spanish royalty. And then from the Spanish royalty, we got the link into our own sort of Tudor and Stuart royal family, which of course ended up with the Queen. So if you go back something like 42 generations, if it is to be believed, then the Queen is descended from the Prophet Muhammad. But that is only true if in that timeline the bloodlines are true. And when I say that, I mean, you know, it was quite common in the past for women to find themselves pregnant, and the baby wasn't their husband's. And sometimes there was a cover-up. You know, it happened. Sometimes there was a cover-up and the baby was presented as their husband's and not their lover's. Sometimes the husband didn't even know. So if that happened anywhere in that direct timeline, then it would mean that the Queen's lineage isn't from the Prophet Muhammad. If, however, it is all true and it is all correct and it is all accurate, I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying if it is, then yes, there is a traceable direct link from the Queen all the way up to the Prophet Muhammad. There you go. Maybe I will bring that video to you. I filmed it, but I didn't put it out there. Let me know what you think. Do you think I should? It actually shows the timeline. Pamela Miller says, when is the baby coming? Any inside scoop? Like I say, the Lindo wing is readying itself, but the due date is the 23rd of April, but it could be, you know, days early, it could be days later, we don't know. But like I say, the Lindo wing in the hospital is preparing itself. Pamela says, greetings from Los Angeles. Linda says, maybe at the wedding, Her Majesty will wear the maple leaf brooch as a nod to the couple's Canadian connection. Possibly. We don't know. James Medford says, you can always count on Victoria Beckham for a great fascinator. I'm sure she'll be wearing one. Vinny thinks European royalty will be in abundance at the wedding. I'm not so sure. Not unless there's any that they are really, really close to. I mean, obviously, you know, some of them are family, but we'll have to wait for that one. Midnight Hazel says, I have missed most of the live chat, catching up live now. I see you ever here in upstate New York. I'm just trying to go down some of the comments. Sorry if I've missed some. Pamela says, I saw the pretty light blue royal dinnerware for Harry and Meghan. Love it. Yes, the official merchandise is really, really good. I can testify to that because I received some from some as gifts, and they are really, really good quality. So do go and check them out. Rachel Quarrell says, have you ever met the royals? Edward was in Hobart, Tasmania last week. That's where I live. No, I'm afraid I haven't met any royals. Joyce says, as I was leaving, I noticed that there are still only 42 likes for 150 here. Be sure you hit that button. Yeah, give me the big thumbs up. So please give me the big thumbs up if you're enjoying it. Mallory says, I'm going to the wedding, so I'm trying to figure out what you're going to wear. Help. Oh my goodness. In which capacity are you going to the wedding? Jamie says, how do we know the Queen has an iPad? Well, I'm assuming that the one that Harry showed the Queen Obama when he did the boom, perhaps maybe the Queen's. We know that she had an iPod, so it's not about the realm of possibility that she has an iPad. Of course, that could have been Harry's iPad, but I'm thinking the Queen has something to keep in touch. We know that she likes to keep in touch with Zara a lot about horses, and I think the Queen is savvy enough to know how to use a phone and an iPad, or not. If she can work an iPod, I'm sure she can work an iPad. You know, my nan is a similar age, and she's really, really good texting on a phone. So I'm sure the Queen is quite capable of using an iPad, and I've just got a sneaky suspicion that that iPad was hers. Midnight Hazel says, please don't shave. The last time I remember Harry without the facial hair is when he was a teenager. I really hope he doesn't shave. Hello to Carol Goddard in Canada. Mary says, I really should get an invite. I'm here. If they want to send me a late invite, then they are more than welcome. Jane, oh, I just had a thought. I haven't checked my PO box in a couple of weeks. Who knows? Maybe they've sent one to the PO box. Oh, I need to go and take a look, don't I? Jamie says the Queen has a phone that doubles as a tracking device in case she ever tries to escape. Good morning to Nessa Van from New Zealand. I'm afraid I don't know when it will be shown or what channel it will be shown for you, and that's of course the royal wedding. James Med4 says Meghan's parents will handle themselves with complete decorum. I agree there. Meghan's parents will be received by the Queen with complete graciousness, as well as by the Prince of Wales, and of course the Duchess of Cornwall and the Cambridges too. And I would agree with that totally. Dawn says, we love your kitchen. It's become our Saturday night evening home. Jamie says, I've spent more time in Elliot's kitchen than my own. James Med4 says, I would like to see Princess Beatrice as a single lady attend the Queen at an engagement. It would be so sweet. It would. That would be a lovely idea if Princess Beatrice was there almost as a lady in waiting. Julianne says, is Eugenie's wedding being overshadowed by Harry's wedding and Kate's third child? No, because they're going to be at different times. So no. Vinnie Blair says, I think the Queen likes Anne to accompany her on engagements. I think as long as she's got a companion, obviously since Philip's retirement, then she's happy, but she's also happy to fly solo too. Claire says, where will Meghan's family leave from on her wedding day? It's possible they could be staying at the castle. It's possible they could be staying in a hotel. It's possible they could be staying in a hotel until the wedding, and then they could be staying in the castle. Again, we are not party to those details. That would be a security risk if we did. And no, not long now until baby number 3. Vinnie Blair says, you think some of Meghan Markle's relatives may stay in Windsor, or maybe in one of those houses on the Windsor estate. Again, that is possible. James Med4 says, let's not forget the royals have a diary of engagement set months to a year in advance, usually around about 6 months at least. Can you imagine Prince Philip's frustrations? Bloody hell, and all that. Yes, I can definitely imagine his frustrations. He wouldn't have been happy to be incapacitated like this at this time. Vinnie Blair says there is a house on the Windsor estate that the Queen's friend who died there is empty. Do you mean the one with the dogs? Yes, there is a house that's empty, definitely. And I'm still thinking that the royal home for Harry and Meghan, apart from Kensington Palace, will be Frogmore. That's just my prediction. I think possibly Frogmore will be their country property. Okay, right, let me see. Jeff says, show us one of the dolls closer up. Do you mean the bears? I actually showed them really close up on my opening video, the second unboxing video I posted today. So do go and check that one out. Juliana says, this is my first chat, enjoying my kitchen. Thank you so much. Carol says, I loved watching your 2 gift hauls and your coat is dashing. I'm new to chat from Canada. Welcome to chat and thank you. I love the gift hauls too. Annette is off to serve dinner. Rachel Quarrel says, Jermaine Greer says that Meghan will run off after marrying Harry. That's rubbish. I agree. I don't think she'll be running off anywhere. And Betsy actually sent me a link. I don't think Betsy's here today, but she sent me a link about an article that was written, I think what was it? In some kind of New York financier publication. I can't remember exactly. And it was talking about tax and the IRS system. And apparently, even if you're American and you marry into a different nationality, you still have to declare certain things to the IRS. So it was saying things like, if Meghan wears a tiara, she'll have to declare it as a gift against tax or some kind of thing. But I think the simple way around that is just that everything that the Queen gives is in Harry's name. And then that would kind of just leave Meghan with her own money or her own income from that, or allowance maybe, which of course she may have to declare as an American citizen. But she could technically renounce her American citizenship, which would take her out of the IRS site. But I don't think America would want her to do that, because that would look quite bad if she relinquished her American citizenship. And I'm sure that she wouldn't want to do that either. So I can see that possibly behind the scenes there may be some sort of deal done where anything that she has income-wise from the British royal family is exempt from being scrutinized by the IRS. That's what I'm kind of thinking. But of course, we will probably never be party to that level of information. But the article was quite interesting. And if you want me to do an article review on that article, then let me know, and I may just do it. Holly says, remember to mention this channel to all of your friends so they will subscribe. Yes, please do. I'm aiming for 50,000 subscribers by Christmas, and I'm almost at 30. So please tell your friends if they're interested in the royal family, of course. Carol says, I am really not surprised that Meghan's half-sister was not invited to the wedding. She has been nothing but disrespectful to Meghan and Harry. Oh, no. Claudia is off. Good night to you. And Jewel Pepsi says, why does Prince Philip have a ghost-like look on him? Does he have a stomach problem? Well, he's just had surgery. So yes, he's been convalescing. So if he looks a little bit pale, I'm sure that's probably why. Ren says, for the wedding live stream, how about your top hat and jacket with pajama bottoms with optional tiara showing? That's not far off what I may do, believe me. It's all about the comfort. Jewel Pepsi says, cool jacket you have on. Thank you so much. Victoria says, yes, show the video. Susan says, yes, please show that video. Okay, if you all want to see it, then maybe. Odia says, yes, show the video to the Prophet Muhammad. I will. If you want to see it. I've made it, I just haven't edited it. And I was wondering whether or not to show it or not, really. James Medford says, did I hear about the row with Queen Sophia and Letitia? Yes, I saw the little bit of frostiness where they Letitia stood in the way of the camera and they pulled each other and all that of it. I mean, yes, I think it is what it is, but I think it was blown up a little bit out of all proportions. Karen says, I think older people prefer iPads because they're larger. That stands to reason, and you can see better. Rachel says, is your grandmother good with computers and the ATM at her bank? Yes. I mean, she doesn't have a computer or a laptop, but yes, she can certainly work the ATM machine. Arnold Sanders says, William lets slip the baby's going to be a boy and says he wants to call him Jack. Where on earth did you hear that? Marty says, how can we see the wedding in the US? Apparently it's on all of the major networks, and I think it's being also live streamed on Facebook. Bay says, I was so happy Prince Harry came to the USA to kick off the walk for veterans. I think he's awesome. Well, he didn't go to the USA. He launched it from the UK. But yes, he is certainly going to be patron of Walk for Veterans. In fact, I think I've got the exact name. Let me have a look. Here we go. Prince Harry launched the Walk of America. It's called the Walk of America, and he launched it from the UK. And I did make a video on that, so do go and check that out. Rachel says you should have a drink flask with the royals on it. Well, I've got one of London, if that counts. Just replenishing my fluids. Okay. Okay. Jamie says Harry showed the Obama video on an iPhone 6, who I gather I thought it was an iPad. I think it's within the realm of possibility that she has one, but again, the most uttered phrase we just yes. I mean, a lot of royal talk is that we don't know things until they're officially released. Otherwise, it's just speculation. I thought it was an iPad, not an iPhone 6. Shows what I know, doesn't it? Yes, I'm imagining it was an iPad. Well, I wouldn't have thought maybe she's got an iPhone 6, but I definitely still think she's probably got a big iPad. Jojo says, haha, the boom is called drop the mic, or the mic drop. Boom. Midnight Hazel says, I read that Diana's sisters and brother have all been invited. Of course, their family. Again, we don't know all of the guest list. Only people like Victoria Beckham, who's been bragging that she's been invited, of course. Juliana agrees with Frogmore as a royal home. I think so too. Vinny Blair says, Frogmore, from your lips to God's ears. I have hoped silently that they will get Frogmore, but I have not dared to say it out loud. Well, I have, and I do think that it's a possibility. Candice says, Harry hasn't stopped staring and smiling at you since the start of the chat. Well, he knows I'm going to take good care of him. Norks Pebble says, I didn't know Frogmore was available. It is. It's within the royal gift to be able to be used as a royal home. I think it's been about 100 years since it was last used as a royal home or something of that nature. But yes, it is available. I do believe parts of it have to be open for about a week or 2 weeks in the year in the summer. But that's okay, because they could still just show the more formal rooms of Frogmore to the public on those weeks in the summer, and those would be the weeks anyway where Harry and Meghan would likely be off to Balmoral or Sandringham or wherever else they'd want to be. So it could still most definitely work as a royal home, just the same as Clarence House or Buckingham Palace is open to tourists when the royals are away as well. So I see no reason why that would be a hindrance to Frogmore being used. Nina says, he's crushing on me. Well, I can only wish. And yes, Frogmore is empty and unoccupied at the present. Stacey is listening and listening to the chat, but crocheting a mermaid blanket for your little cousin Bella, or littlest cousin Bella. Janet Baker says dual citizenship is possible. I have one with Canada, if that helps. I don't think it matters to the IRS from what I was reading from this article. Kelly will be in her PJs watching the wedding. Norma says, actually, I as an American don't care if she gives up her citizenship. Take Katy Perry too. By all means, we won't miss them. Maybe you could also take Miley Cyrus. You can keep Miley. Throwing some shade. Sorry, Miley. Don't hate me. And yes, the evening reception is at Frogmore. And Jamie says, excuse me, I have an iPad and I'm not old. You're not indeed. Claire says, what will happen to Highgrove House when Charles becomes king? Yes, it is part of the Duchy of Cornwall. I think he purchased it under the Duchy of Cornwall. So technically, when William takes that over, he will have use of it. But maybe Charles will kind of use it as a country retreat. I'm possibly thinking maybe, because he does love Highgrove. Pamela says, have I thought about working for the palace? I have, but it would mean relocating to London, and I'm not sure my partner would particularly like that, and I'm also not sure I'd want to be too far away from my family either. Eileen says, guesses on which royal title the Queen will bestow on Harry and Meghan following the wedding. Well, it's usually the dukedom is confirmed. Is that the word? Confirmed on the male royal the day before or the morning of. So it's possible the one that's been muted is Sussex, so the Dukedom of Sussex for Harry, which would make Meghan the Duchess of Sussex and Her Royal Highness too. Melody is going to make herself a cream tea for the wedding. Okay, I think I've managed to get to the bottom of all the comments. I also made a video this week about Meghan's quiz on Britishness. It's an old video of Meghan before she even met Harry, but it's well worth a watch because it's really, really funny seeing Meghan being tested on what she knows about being British. So do go and check that one out. I also made a video this week about the top 10 exhumations, exhumed royal bodies. Do go and check that out because it was a lot of work and I really did enjoy making that video. And I also made one on Oliver Cromwell's head, the curious tale of Oliver Cromwell's head, and it is a true tale. So do go and check that one. I'm just making sure I haven't missed it. Oh, the Queen and David Attenborough. My goodness. Okay, so there's an upcoming documentary. The Queen with David Attenborough for the Queen's Green Planet. I do believe it's this Monday being aired. And the Queen made a joke about President Trump. A noisy aeroplane went overhead. And if you want to watch the video, you can actually see the Queen saying this. A noisy aircraft was going overhead. And she said, why do they always do that when one's trying to talk? And then she says, it rather sounds like President Trump. Which was incredible to hear her talk like that. But it was really, really funny. And David Attenborough and the Queen both laughed, which I thought very funny. Also this week, Russia has laid claim to the Queen that is a heavy drinker because of her love of a gin and dubonnet and possibly a glass of champagne or wine with her meal. I did make a video on what Russia was saying, so do go and check that one out too. And I think I've possibly mentioned everything else on my list. And yes, Phyllis, the British people have a very positive vibe about Meghan. And Kelly, I think children for Meghan and Harry will probably come quite quickly after the wedding. Melody's going to have a cream tea for the party. And you can't wait to taste clotted cream for the first time. Oh my goodness, the first time. Wow, it's amazing. Vinny Blair says, William and Catherine don't suit Highgrove. They wouldn't care about the gardens for one. Meghan Markle now could be depended on to share Charles' love of gardens. She does love flowers. That is true. Holly Anderson says there was a large article with pictures on MSN about the fact that Prince Harry had invited the entire Spencer family to his wedding. So wonderful. I'm not quite sure how they would know that. I'm doubtful that that is true. But I'm sure he probably would have invited them. But I'm not quite sure that the MSN article has that down as factual news. It's probably more guesswork and speculation. But nevertheless, it's probably guesswork and speculation that's likely to be true. But I'm not quite sure how they would know that for sure. Jewel Pepsi says, I like gardens, especially food ones. Jamie says, I can't really celebrate by myself in front of the telly. Just a bit sad. No, it's not. Have a one-person party. It works. And apparently we're up to 103 likes. Well, hey. That I do like. Okay, so I'm going to end today's, or rather this week's, episode 5 of Talk of the Crown. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do give it a big old thumbs up. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. I will be back next week at the same time, 10 o'clock live GMT time. So make sure that you come back. And I'm sure you may see Harry and Meghan again too. So from me in Shropshire, goodbye.